Welcome, everyone. Welcome to today's call. We are going to dive into a workshop. So this workshop is about women's seasons, cycles, menstruation, how to regulate our hormones, how to track our cycles, how to have better energy, how to follow a healthy circadian rhythm. And if you are a male, this is also for you because you either have a sister, have a mom, a girlfriend, a partner, a friend, anyone in your life who has a vagina and a vulva. They need you to know this. To honor the feminine energy requires both sides of the coin to know these different things so that we can be supported in both ways. And just as females need to be supported in this way, we need to support our males in their circadian rhythm and in their 24-hour testosterone cycle. So to be aware of these various cycles is the key to connection at a very deep level, at a soulful level, for both the feminine and the masculine. Because we both have feminine and masculine inside of us. Yet if we are only tending to one of the gardens, or if we're hyper masculine or hyper feminine, then we are not in balance. We're not serving ourselves or serving ourselves with justice. So we're going to dive into a presentation all about that today. So I'm going to bring that up in the screen share. Boom, boom, boom. So let me go here. Go back one page. So bada bing, bada boom. Here we are. Cycles of women, astrology, seasons, and menstruation. And when we are talking about astrology, we are talking about it in a very open lens, because I do not just want to target Western astrology, because astrology is a deep, rich science that does have validation that's been used all over the world since before the time of Christ, the beginning of time, really, because of how deeply it affects us. And you may find resonance with some of the things that you will hear and that you will read on today's presentation. However, if it doesn't resonate, just leave it. Don't gotta make no thing about it. Just leave it, let it go, and we will just flow. So here's what you can expect. Today we're going to go over the story of the zodiac, the seasons, aligning your actions and regulating your hormones, as well as menstruation, the sacred practices, and how to heal ourselves and tend to our own nature. The ultimate outcomes of this course are to feel confident as you go in and out of each month, knowing and how to utilize your energy. And a fun bonus homework piece will be journaling each month. So every day, have your journal. It does not have to be extensive. You wake up, you sit up, you go, deep breath. How do I feel in my body? And you answer that question. Maybe you feel super energetic, alive, easygoing, awake. Maybe you're super sleepy, tired. Maybe you want to do this at the end of the day because you're able to live the whole day, collect more symptoms or collect more feelings on what happened to really gauge what's going on with you, and then you write it. But it's as simple as writing down a few symptoms, what you felt: awake, sleepy, tired, bitchy, rude, aggressive, annoyed, restful. Sorry, I have puppies in the background who are playing. They are almost 5 weeks and they're crazy. And so being able to make sure we know how to track our cycles is key. Understanding how to support yourself for optimum health as the seasons shift and what to eat during those times, as well as connecting to your divine feminine nature with confidence. And I will add a few bits and pieces for our male counterparts here so that they can support their females in a best way. So my mission is to remind women of their infinite potential, living their experiences through the true authentic self, by knowing themselves, by listening to themselves, by not having to be a part of this crazy culture outside of us that wants us to be pulled in all different directions, optimizing your health, living longer, having more rich experiences, and trusting your intuitive nature as a woman, as a female being. We have so many gifts. We have such power. And once we come together as females, as women, we are able to do more. We're able to spread more love, spread more joy, spread more softness. And it has been a wild and lovely journey for me. So if I can do it, I know you can do it as well. So we are going to look at the different pieces of astrology here. And as you can see on this slide, There is the head, physical body, which is aligned with mindful movement, and that is the Aries astrology head, so to say. That what we know as the people born in April to May, and they're really zesty and they got a lot of energy. Then we go down to Taurus. And this, we start our year at the spring equinox, which is March, coming up here in a few days, because this is being recorded on March 19th. So Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, those are our spring energies. And there's a lot of starting energy with this. So Taurus, neck, throat, breath. It's a very musical characteristic, and it's connected down to the vagina, to the vulva. And what happens here happens down there. So working with the breath and meditation is a great way to build a construct moving forward. Gemini, tapping into the lungs, the arms, the fingers, the mind, how these help the phalanges work, how we breathe, how we express ourselves. This is our alter ego, creating an archetype for us to live out of in order to pursue our dreams, in order to make steps towards that future self that we all know and love and who we want to be. Because we want to be who we are now, and we are adopting the practices and the principles of our future self now to bring that to fruition. Then we move on to our summer solstice signs, our summer signs, which are Cancer, Leo, and Virgo. Cancer, stomach, breast, the emotional body. It's at the bottom of the zodiac. This is the inner child healing. So where we go deep. Leo, it's the heart, it's the spine, it's our bravery, it's our courage, it's our soul, it's the essence of us, and it's aligned pleasure, following what feels good for us, what's playful. Then we go to Virgo, the intestines, how we serve others, how we serve ourselves, and going into intuitive eating, intuitive being, really, to encompass that. But Virgo has a lot to do with health. Then we move into the fall equinox, and that is our Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius energies. So let's go into Libra. That is ruler of the bladder. So our value, how we see our own value, how others see our value, and conscious relationships. That's a big one. Scorpios, genitalias, truth, soul success. Sagittarius, thighs, wisdom, going into healing with herbalism, connecting with plants, connecting with the land around you, what is around you in your life. If you're in a city, that's a little bit different, but you can still go out to rural areas, make a day trip, spend a whole day in nature, find native plants, look them up beforehand, get attuned with how they feel, how they actually smell, how they look, their textures. And then we move into the winter solstice, and we have Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So Capricorn, the knees, the structure, sleep, and how we have a foundation to our life. That is when, the typical New Year's Eve resolution phase comes through, and it's such a dying, cultural, appropriated event that is, thankful we're moving away from that, but to keep us trapped in the matrix. Aquarius, calves and consciousness, our inner genius, how we are connecting with the second heart of our bodies, the calves. Are we pumping it full of energy and blood? Like, are we getting that muscle to pump energy back up to our heads? Are we rebounding? Are we draining our lymph nodes? Are we tending to our bodies fully from the ground up and letting these ideas come to life? Down to Pisces, feet and cycles, the subconscious mind. And we will move down to breaking these down one by one. So Aries, it's no coincidence that Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. That's when the spring is in full forward motion. Think about a flower that begins to bloom. The animals are born. The sun begins to stay out longer. It's the start. It is the starting point of the year. Think about any friends that you know that were born during that time frame, early March to April. They're quick, they're trendsetters, they're leaders. And when they have a plan, no one can stop them. They just want them to join. The medicine is mindful movement. I am just laughing because these puppies are going crazy over here. And then we move into Taurus. So Taurus being a very melodic sign, a very material sign, a sign that is consumed with building from the ground up, having a strong foundation, being able to take the dreams of what was created in the Aries time and to bring a clear foundation to that, to begin building an outline, a blueprint to that. Think about how reliable these kinds of people are, practical. They're instantly likable. They're very easygoing. They love textures. They love comfort. And desire is a big key word for them. Then they're simple and very, very sweet. Next, we can move over to the, gotta get this to slide. There we go. Then we're going into Gemini. Intellectual as it is chatty, Gemini energy pushes us to transform who we are to be who we need for our dreams to become physical. From May to June, you can utilize the power of communication and technology to allow others to see what you're bringing into the world. Let people support you and inspire you. Think about your friends who are Geminis. They're brilliant, they're witty, fascinated by all things, deep inventors on the inside, born networkers. They are very, very likable, and they typically have two sides. Then we move on to our Cancers, our beautiful, lovely, sweet Cancers. After you share the newest endeavors and you begin to transform into this new person, energy of Cancer can really invoke the question of who am I? From June to July, it's time to go back in and get a little tender. So we made it 1, 2, 3 months. We're heading into that 4th month. And we need to take this time to be tender, to be nourishing, to love ourselves, to go inward and heal whatever is coming up for us that might be resistance to this new identity, this new job, this new way of being, this new mindset that we are attempting to embody. So think about Cancer friends. Their home body is very nurturing, intuitive, and it's the time to heal thyself. Use medicine like food, getting out in nature, journaling a lot, going inwards, listening to music. And we move on to the summer sign. So Leo, captivated, enthusiastic, inspiring. This is Leo energy. It can feel instantly healing because it gives you the ability to stay loyal and saying yes to what needs moving forward. There's a burst of energy, a burst of life. It is the sun. It is giving life to everything that it touches. It lights up the room. And if you can learn to have a daily practice or perspective of tuning in on how to love your environment, the people, the places, the achievements, the failures, you're going to be able to tap into infinite energy. And think about Leo friends. They're often spiritually guided and they bring in big beliefs, but they bridge peace, happiness, and love to all of those that they surround. We move into Virgo energy and we're halfway through the year. August to September, it's the time for a checkup. Virgo is here to check us. So we're almost done. We're done with summer. It's going to be fall here soon. We're halfway through the year. And we want to make sure that all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted. So what kind of foods are we consuming? Where are we at in our projects? Where do we need to put an emphasis on the details? Think about your Virgo friends. It's very goddess energy. They bring order to the kingdom, so to say. They are a gift in the very practical, tactical world that we live in. Then we have our Libras. Do you love yourself or do you love people more than you love yourself? Because Libra energy longs to be loved by someone else and in love with someone else, but it can often be hard for these energies to love themselves. So it's time to create your own perfect moments. Buy yourself lunch, go out on your own date, get clear with who you are and reestablish your values. Reflect on your mission. Are you enjoying it? Is it what you want? It's okay to change your mind if this isn't it, or if you need to make a small pivot or a big pivot. Give yourself grace and do not get caught up on chaotic energy of overgiving or people pleasing. Libra energy is very multifaceted, multi-talented, and it is all about bringing value into the world, into the self. Scorpio, it brings us newfound clarity. It's another emotional emphasis kind of time because it's a water sign. And this happens during November to October. Scorpio energy turns it up. It's very intense and it's very taboo sex, drugs, spirits, money. You're encouraged to go into anything that is uncomfortable for you. Release all the heaviness, clear your slate, and get ready for the potent time for investing. Investing in money, investing in your life, investing in your dreams, investing in your health, investing in whatever it is you need to invest in. Think about the people you know who are Scorpios and are healthy Scorpios. They're intense, but they admit to things. They have strong characteristics, yet they know how to get from A to Z, and they're going to invite you, or they're going to tell you to get out of the way. And it's all out of love, because maybe you're just not the right cat for the job. Then we move on to Sagittarius, ruthlessly blunt, expansive in thought, contemplative and connective. Your fresh truth-telling skills are hot throughout November to December. It's time to be unapologetically observant and hold your truth. See how it lands with others, but do not go back on it. Learn to have your own backbone and not be afraid to show it, because your inner guidance is going to bring you to the right people, places, and events to showcase that. And if you're a little nervous about sharing your real thoughts, practice in the mirror first. These kind of people are bold, adventurous. This energy is very much like, look at me, I'm Santa Claus. Here's all my gifts. These puppies are making me laugh. Moving on to Capricorn, we're almost done with the zodiac. Capricorn is the business warhorse. It is building the foundation, experimenting, making little adjustments here and there, and then finding new ways to go to work and get shit done, even though we don't want to make it too intense. So because we're shifting into the cold winter months, because we're about to be in the winter solstice, it's time to reel it back. So we want to get to work. We're going to have that energy, that drive, that determination, but it's also a time to make sure you're scheduling in your yin time. So if you're going to be yang for 3 hours of work, at least 1 hour of yin to offset that, to connect with yourself again, to replenish your energy. So stay consistent without overworking. Honor your intuitive nature for what you need, especially in the winter time. Then we're moving to the last two. We have Aquarius energy. This energy emerges during winter. You've taken aligned action, and now you can embody who you've become, or so we think. This is when the astrological year's almost done, but we still have a little bit of learning to do. So it's a valuable time to personally wear your unique existence as a badge of honor. Really put to test what you've learned, what you've been trying on and putting out as feelers, and embrace it. It is time to shine. What you have invented, the you that you have constructed since April is ready to be seen and fully accepted by yourself and the world. So go out there, put your heart on your sleeve, and do not be attached to the outer world opinion. If it feels right for you, it's right for you. And if it doesn't harm anyone else outside of you, it's meant for you. Then we move into Pisces, the last sign, the ending of the cycle and the beginning. So Pisces energy is all about the spiritual veil world. It is pulling back the layers. It is seeing the unseen. It is where the mystical, esoteric resides. This is fantasy. This is movie. This is creation. This is rest and rejuvenation. This is becoming more aligned with who we are at our heart of hearts. And if we can think about our Pisces friend, they may feel beyond their age. They may be really old souls. They might get lost on fantasy and movies and love stories, but it's because they can see the love and wonder in everything, because they're so connected to ancestors, to what is beyond this life, to something higher than themselves, that they can't help but share that beautiful mystery and making it real and tangible. This is full embodiment through and through. So we carry on with these different I am statements. So you can look at these for whatever ones stand out to you. Put them all over your house, put them on your mirror, put them in your car, and repeat them daily. They truly do help in beginning to speak to yourself and about your life in I am statements. And this is happening. This is who I am. This is how I'm acting. This is what I'm doing. I am working towards. I am working on. I have these friends, I have this money, I have these results, I notice money coming to me more and more. We do not want to say far-fetched, out of character shit that's completely false. Telling yourself, I have $1 million does not work. I promise that is not how we do things here. We make things practical. So, money is coming to me every single day. I see more and more avenues opening up for me. I feel more aligned with how I'm making money. My community brings in people all over the world, and we share common knowledge. Like, it can be things like that. Oh my gosh, these puppies are crazy. So, time to journal, and you can take a moment to pause the video and journal. How does it feel to think about creating a year-long guide to sync in with nature? What does it mean to be in sync with your cycle? If you couldn't fail, what would you attempt? And what would be one realistic benchmark for each month you could achieve towards your dreams? Then we're going to go into seasonal optimization and hormone regulation. I really enjoyed this little quote I found here. Nature has a pattern, a flow and rhythm. When the season changes, it's an opportunity to observe her movements, her shifting. It's an invitation to tune in. The more we feel her rhythm and let it guide our movements, the more we recognize that we are part of the rhythm, not separate. For our humans to be vibrant and healthy, it's best if we heed the flow and wisdom of the season. Jovial King. So what that means to me is that we are allowing ourselves to connect with nature, with what is around us during this time, and fully embracing that. So why eat and drink seasonally food and herbs? So seasonal eating is freshly harvested eating. It's being in sync with Mother Nature. It is not only beneficial for how we use our energy, but how we receive it too. Food that is freshly harvested from an in-state source optimizes the amount of energy you'll consume from that food without the chemicals like Roundup. Locally grown goodies also have the best taste and highest nutrient count due to reaching their peak potential before being picked. Plus, we support local farmers, and it's great for our community. If you have a year-round local farmers market, you are blessed and gifted. Shop there as much as you can. Plan your meals for the week. Get what you need. Support these people. Support healthy agriculture. Support ethical farming. Support real people. If you can not get to a farmer's market, please go to your grocery store and buy organic food. Buy local foods as much as you can. Buy foods that are close to where you live. Things are getting imported from all over the world. They are losing their energy, and they're actually picking up dense energies that are attached to them. If you don't really have that choice, say a prayer before you eat your food. Clear it of any energies that it has. Thank it for the biodynamic available nutrients that it is presenting you with, and consume it with love in your heart. And that will help elevate how those nutrients operate at a cellular level, and that has been proven by science. So when we talk about the spring, which we are coming into here, is Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, we have some supportive tools, healing activities, herbs, and seasonal food. So these are non-negotiable values: journaling and the HIT hot movement. So there's the journaling values homework in the Conscious Alignment Method School. Go into that very first classroom hub, do the exercise, and you will be astonished. And please remember to comment it in the classroom forum. And so because this is the bursting, the opening, the beginning, we want to do things that are fun and fueling. So hot yoga, quick ski laps, sprinting at a track, doing HIIT workouts, doing movements that are fun, that are unique, that have strength and endurance involved. Just get us pumping with new life, new energy. We can do things to help us heal, like writing down our yearly goals. And if that seems too far out, then you can do an intention for the next 3 months that you'd like to hold. Yes, they can change and shift depending on who you become over that time. That is fine. But it's time for a fresh start. So welcome in creativity and energy. Supportive herbs for this would be bitters for cleansing and herbs that support the liver and digestion. Look at red clover for detoxing, skin health, minerals, dandelion for rejuvenation and vitamins, and then burdock root for antioxidants, artichoke for the liver and gallbladder health. And then, as you can see, there are some supportive foods down here. Watercress, leeks, asparagus, radishes, strawberries, rhubarb, really tasty foods. Then we move onto summer and Cancer, Leo, Virgo, the energies we want to be working with or we can be called forward into is mirror work, less strenuous indoor activities because it's hot. So we want to do things that are fun, that are going to get us pumped up, but also bring in a little bit of team coherence. So swimming, hiking, running, playing volleyball at the beach with your friends, playing a game of soccer. Maybe you're going out for group runs. Maybe you are lifting with your friends or doing CrossFit for a few months. Whatever it is, if you can work out outside, that is actually the best way you can work out or that you can move your body. Dance outside, do yoga outside, hit a Pilates class, whatever makes you feel alive, do it and do it with people you love. Something to heal you during this time is doing something that scares you, opening up that bravery within your heart one time a week. It's time to practice that courage muscle. So play more, create your alter ego, and put affirmations in your phone to help encourage you to make these upgraded choices. Then supportive herbs and Ayurvedic practices is supposed to stay cool during the summer. So there's a few different herbs that you can look at there to help soothe and cool the body. I also really love peppermint. It's caffeine free and it's a great one. And then to support your seasonal food and health there, look at rock salt and water, so like Celtic salt, basil, any berries that, have a beet, blueberries, boysenberries, corn, summer squash, zucchini, very hydrated and water dense foods. Then we move forward into the fall. So our supportive tools for Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, smudging with a local herb is best, or the above work as well to clear negative energy and honor transition. Doing Pilates, yoga, cycling are really great ways to get back and connected with your inner nature. They're a little bit slower too. They kind of shift from this fast-paced, fun, energetic, super about friends activities into more internal. You can still do it in a group, but it's quieter or it's not so loud. It's much more focused. We can learn to adopt a daily breathwork practice or to find our center. Forage for mushrooms with friends, go rock hounding, paint some pottery, plant seeds for next year in your garden, whatever it is. It's time to sow what we grew all spring and summer and now plant new seeds for the following year. Some more great herbs support you during this fall transition, help keep you healthy in your immune system because during that fall transition, we are getting colder with the weather. So start now on the immunity boost and you'll be fine for the winter. And then those supportive foods down below, mushrooms, dark leafy greens, acorn squash, pumpkins, pears, cranberries, all the yummy goodness. Then we carry on to our winter. And that is our last bit of Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So the deep cold, where we're trying to go in and get warm and cozy. Supportive tools for this could be hypnosis before bed, listening to something that trains your subconscious mind while you're sleeping. Balance, action, and rest. For every action taken, insert a period of relaxation. That is a must be followed rule during this time because it's so easy to stay caught up in the hustle of life when this is the dark, slow, shorter day period. It gets dark early and it stays dark for much longer in the morning. This is because we're meant to follow that sun rhythm. So healing activities you can add to your life during this time is a massage a month, drinking more hot beverages like hot water in the morning, a hot tea, cold plunging. It can for a quick moment. Make sure for you ladies, it's not below 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Not great for the bodies. Men can go as cold as they want, essentially. It's a very different mechanism in the brain and how that cold affects us versus them. A winter meditation walks. Get out in the snow. You still want to immerse yourself in the weather. So dress up, bundle up, stay warm, but reflect on what is being grieved, being let go, being released, what is ready to be renewed, what is ready to be put to rest and recycled back into reusable energy. Other supportive herbs, tulsi, holy basil, hibiscus, rosehip, sage, amazing taste there. And then supportive seasonal foods, a lot more vitamin C heavy foods because it's dark. So we need to get that vitamin C, that vitamin D. Make sure that if you're not taking vitamin D and you feel a little low, that's going to be a big support during that time. And then we have here some minerals that can help support us. So B complex, iron, trace minerals, omega-3s, vitex root, all of these help blood sugar, mood, hormones, cognitive function, and overall energy. Then healthy oils, please throw away any seed oils you have. They're doing you no good. They're actually clogging your body and making it hard for things to pass through. So these are great oils to look to as alternatives. You can also look at a few others, but these are the main ones I stick to. I do not really stray. Beef tallow is also another great option that I use for my skincare, but I do not have listed here. Then we have hormone regulation overview. So what does this even mean? Hormone regulation is the idea that we are so in tune with our cycle, we're eating properly during that season, during the phase of the cycle we're in, and then if we're making sure that these 4 main areas of our lives are staying well maintained. So liver detox, blood sugar regulation, stress management, and gut health. We're going to dive a little bit deeper, but optimal things to help support those 4 areas are sleep. We need more sleep than men if you are a female. So quality sleep and rest helps our hormones function optimally. Movement, sync your workouts with your cycle, and we'll talk about what movements go with which cycle phase. And cycle tracking. Help identify hormonal imbalances and irregularities so that if something were to come up in your future that scares you, maybe that's cancer, maybe that's endometriosis, you're able to catch it and bring it to someone's attention who is a professional. So if we move forward, we have the liver. So, oh, this is a double slide. Excuse me. Oh no, it didn't work. Okay, well, I will fix that and I will be uploading the PDF. So that does make sense. So, okay, here's gut health. That's all mixed up. Oh, that's okay. So we'll start with gut health. We're rolling with the punches here. We're all right. So gut health and estrogen detoxification. So here we go with remetabolizing and eliminating excess estrogen because that's not great for the gut or for the body. That means that there's a imbalance going on, and we want to make sure that we take care of that we're eliminating it, and that we know the symptoms. So if you're having heavy periods, PMS, bloating, mood swings, fibroids, painful cramps, like a little clots coming out while you're bleeding, it's time to look at your gut health. And the gut's really easy to fix. It only takes 3 days to reset your gut, which is an amazing thing. Yet it's not a walk in the park like everyone thinks, or else everyone would reset their gut and be fine, right? So we want to make sure that we're eliminating sugars. Natural sugars are okay, but we want to make sure we're limiting that to 12 grams of sugar or less at a sitting. Yes, that is something to really look out for, especially if you seem to have something with blood sugar regulation issues in your family. So look at those things. Take a month to change your diet, adjust it, and then at your next period, take notes on what you're experiencing. And how to support this is to eat fiber-rich foods. As you can see, some vegetables, flaxseed, chia seeds, and that can help estrogen elimination. Consume probiotic foods and drink dandelion tea. Eat bitter greens to support the liver detox. I like Symbiotica's liver supplement. It's very helpful if you do wish to go into a supplement. And then we have gut health. So this is just part 2 of it. Your gut bacteria influences the production of GABA, a neurotransmitter that reduces stress and supports progesterone production. We also want to take electrolytes or have Celtic salt because it helps with GABA production. Also, bone broth helps with GABA production. Low progesterone is linked to short luteal phases, anxiety, poor sleep, irritability, irregular cycles, missed periods. How to boost that is to include prebiotic foods onions, garlic, asparagus, bananas. Reduce processed sugars, inflammatory oils, like I mentioned earlier, and then take magnesium and B vitamins. I like bio-optimizers magnesium because you get all 7 forms of magnesium in one dose. Let me see if I did the rest of this right. All right, and then part 3, we have the chronic stress increases cortisol, which can suppress your reproductive hormones. A healthy gut helps regulate the stress response and maintain a balanced cortisol rhythm. Naturally, our cortisol spikes in the morning, it lowers in the afternoon, and it fades down until nighttime. This is on purpose to get us up out of bed, started for the day, get the food in our belly, get the workout done, get our work going, and then as our work day goes, we slowly begin to wind down, go home, make food, hang out, chill out, go to bed. That is why our cortisol operates in that fluctuation. So signs of imbalanced cortisol levels would be fatigued or wired energy at night, cravings for sugar, processed carbs, and sleep issues, or waking up at 3 a.m. Then we can lower these cortisol levels and help the gut health by prioritizing gut healing foods. Like I said, bone broth has a lot of collagen, fermented foods, the kimchi, the sauerkraut. Get morning sunlight to regulate circadian rhythm and cortisol levels, and avoid overtraining. Excess exercise can strain the gut function and spike cortisol, and you want to be eating before you work out, especially as a woman. Almost done here with the gut health, but the gut helps regulate insulin, the hormone that controls blood sugar levels. If blood sugar is unstable, it can lead to POX, irregular cycles, or hormonal acne. Give me 1 second. Those little puppies just kept barking and driving me wild. Okay, so signs of blood sugar dysregulation, energy crashes after meals, constant cravings, hangry, and acne along the jawline linked to insulin resistance. Then, how to balance blood sugar regulation via the gut health. Eat protein, fiber, healthy fats with every meal. Prevent glucose spikes. Consume cinnamon, apple cider vinegar, cornium, and improve the insulin sensitivity. And avoid excess caffeine on an empty stomach. That can really spike your blood sugar levels. And that goes for both men and women. And last but not least, your gut bacteria converts T4, an inactive thyroid hormone, into T3, an active thyroid hormone. If your gut health is off, hypothyroid symptoms may appear: fatigue, sluggish metabolism, cold hands and feet, hair thinning, dry skin. And if you, to support this, you can eat selenium-rich foods. Brazil nuts are one of my favorites. Sardines, eggs, reduce gluten and inflammatory foods. They may trigger this autoimmune system response, and get enough iodine, zinc, and vitamin D, key for thyroid health. Then we're going to move to circadian rhythm. For our circadian rhythm, what is it? It's our biological sleep and wake cycle. When we are in sync with nature, we're in sync with our bodies. The cycle allows the body to function at an optimal chemical level. Hormones are released to help start ovulation and digestion when it's time to rest, so our muscles may recover, immune system recharge, and other physiological processes can restart. What does an in-sync circadian rhythm look like? Waking up with the first light to optimize the gene clocks. Have regular daily routines. You get outside and enjoy nature first thing in the morning. No caffeine afternoon. Do not need that. Eat later in the AM and earlier in the PM. No to low lights after 7 to 8 p.m. And have regular nightly routines. Read, meditate, do breath work, whatever it is you feel like participating in to connect more with your inner world. So this is just a general diagram of the sleep-wake cycle and where cortisol is really lifted from the 6 a.m. to this noon point, and then it begins to drop during this time, and then we would like to be in bed by 10 p.m. the latest to help our rhythms. And the consequences, why we don't want to be out of sync with this cycle, is because it's low mood, struggle to maintain a healthy weight, weak immune system, Late melatonin release. Eating before bed hinders the production of melatonin and keeps us awake. Overall disease development and poor toxin removal. If we aren't giving ourselves enough time to rest and actually give our bodies the time to heal, we are not going to heal, and it's like building up uh, the trash can, right? It's overflowing. We keep throwing trash on it. Now the trash is on the floor. We're still not throwing the trash out, but we keep throwing trash on it, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger until our house smells gross. We're living with pests, and it's a mess. So we do not want to do that. We're going to shift into the menstruation cycle. So here we go. What is the menstruation cycle? Well, we undergo the cycle to ready our bodies for the largest task in life, birthing a child. And this menstrual cycle is anywhere between 28 and 35 days. Yes, this can be different. If it is shorter or longer, it may be okay depending on your ancestors, who you are, but there could be some serious issues going on with the body. So, what happens when we menstruate? An egg is developed and released. The uterus lining builds up, and in the chance that pregnancy isn't in the cards, it sheds. Voila, the sacred bleed happens. And if you did not know the anatomy of the vagina and vulva, here we are. So as we can see, we know the vagina, we have the uterus, here's the vaginal canal, our cervix is right here, our two ovaries, and then we have, I got a little puppy playing with cords. She is the only one not sleeping. Say hi, everyone. Hi. This is Twiggy. She's got a branch on her butt. You're going to stay up here with me. So then we look at the vulva over here. We have the clitoris, that little pearl, what people call the pearl, or the man in the boat, the woman in the boat. It's usually under that front fold of the vagina, and that is one of the pleasure points. It's what they call the clitoris orgasm. This pee hole, urethral hole, right below it. Then we have the vaginal opening. That is where a penis is inserted, or your preference, your choice, your preference is inserted into that for more pleasure. And that's where you can get the two other different orgasms that way, the G-spot and the cervical orgasm. And then you have your two labia right below, the two different folds. So that is the anatomy. If you have not looked at your vagina or your vulva, go in the mirror and go exploring, because to not know or have appreciation for your body, for your anatomy, to not have a clue of what it looks like or feels like, or have appreciation for it, have love for your gal, yourself, there's disconnection up here. You will be less likely to speak your mind, to speak your authentic truth, to speak from the heart, to speak at a soulful level. The less connected you are with your vagina, with your vulva, with your pleasure center, with your sexual energy, the less connection you have with your voice and with those around you. I found it very interesting that in 2019, there was this British study where 45% of British women were unable to label the vagina on a diagram, and 60% couldn't identify the vulva. It's a very scary world. We aren't taught this. This isn't our fault. We are never told or really empowered or pushed in that direction to learn about this. So we are truly doing our best that we can. And then women around the world have been disconnected from their source of life and energy since the masculine energy has taken reign again. And that's been over 13,000 years at this point. So to know, explore, and love your vulva, your vagina, your sexual energy is a crucial part of the embodiment of your femininity and learning to love yourself for who you are as a person. Then we have the different hormones, so estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Stardust is an app that you can use to track your cycle, and I recommend doing, if an app works for you, it works for you, but make sure you're taking notes along with it so that you can keep track of it month to month, or just keep a journal next to your bed. Estrogen regulates creating babies, skin and bone health, cholesterol, boobs, cognitive functions, the heart, mood. It regulates everything. It's a big deal. That's why it's such a big deal when menopause happens and we lose our estrogen. Then we go into progesterone, created during the ovulation phase to create the perfect environment for fertilizing an egg. Then we have testosterone. So testosterone is made in small quantities in the female body versus the male body, and it is responsible for higher sex drives, wanting to socialize, higher energy levels, and the ability to get shit done. And there is a small bump of this in the middle of our cycle, typically when we do have our ovulation going on or slightly after that. And that's when you gotta be the most careful, especially if you're going about sexual experiences and moments, intimacy, in a unprotected way, so to say, or in a natural way. And that is the biggest part about knowing your cycle, is if you do not want to use condoms because you don't want plastic in your body or on your partner's genitals, which I highly do not recommend, because we already have enough plastic in our environment, and they're already finding plastic in the wombs of babies and in testicles. We don't need any more plastic there. If you're not using, traditional birth control, even non-hormonal birth control, and the copper IUD, I used to be on it. I was on it for 3 years, not by my choice really. And I got it out and I have felt better ever since. There's a lot of horror stories with that. Even if it's non-hormonal, it is still affecting your hormones. That is what it's literally put in you to do. It's just knowing this cycle will help you and your natural birth control practice to avoid pregnancy if you're not wanting to get pregnant. And this is why it's equally as important for the man to step up and know their women's cycle and to honor that, to not let the drive of being a man come over them, and to really take responsibility for themselves and for their woman, for their partner. So menstrual phase, it's the phase 1. And there's a few different ways that I have this laid out. So if you're not this type of learning style, there is a graph at the end that you can see. So day 1 of your bleed, lasting 3 to 5 days, maybe a little bit longer or shorter. The objective is to clear out the blood, the uterine lining, and it's important for the body to rest during the sacred time, for you to get familiar with your bleed. Perhaps you explore by touching your blood or seeing what it feels like. See how sticky it is. Get in tune with it. Wash your hands after. It's not that big of a deal. It's your own blood. And then the body's in need of more iron and magnesium, considering that you're losing so much blood. So I personally have to take an iron supplement. However, that's not always the case. You can eat very great nutrient-dense foods with enough iron in them. Body care, answer the cravings with dark chocolate. Make sure that it is 80% dark chocolate or higher, because the sugar difference between those two is a 30% difference. In lieu of that, also eating red meats, dark leafy greens, avocados, wild caught fish, basically anything that is very dense in healthy fats is going to be very healthy for you during this time. Cut out the caffeine, cut out the coffee the days before your cycle and during it. You don't need it. Go to cacao, and like actual pure cacao that does not have sugar to it. Go to a tea. Go to something else for a few days. That will help symptoms if you do experience them. And then sleep extra. Treat yourself like a queen. You deserve it. Going on, so just a little bit of a different menstrual phase cycle here so that you can see what's going on. Hormones being the lowest. Again, uterine lining shedding, energy naturally lower. It just gives a little bit more detail as to what to do, what to look for, foods to eat. Then we move on to the follicular phase. The estrogen and testosterone levels are beginning to rise as the uterine lining and egg maturation begins. Nourish the body with high protein and fat to support the body into the growth cycle. And listen to what the body's asking for. Maybe you do want more movement. Maybe you need to organize your life for a plan of attack. Maybe it's time to clean the house. Follicular is very similar to the season of spring, whereas menstruation is very similar to the season of winter. So during this phase, nettles are a great herb to help the body balance hormonally, balance your blood sugar levels with great complex carbs. CrossFit workouts, HIIT workouts, just fun, high energy activities are awesome during this time. Let the creativity splurge. So if you're running your own business, This is a great time to make your content. This is a great time to content bulk. You have many ideas, write them all down, brain dump, go to town on it. You have more energy, you have more bandwidth up top, so utilize it. Again, this is a more in-depth presentation or slide going into follicular phase. So estrogen energy levels are rising. Nutrition, it needs more light. So fresh foods full of light and energy are great here. Then we go into ovulation phase, everyone's favorite, because it's when we feel our sexiest, we have the best energy, we're confident, we're banging, we're walking into the room and everyone's looking our way, we're breaking necks. This typically occurs halfway. So day 1 is menstruation, day 14 to 16 is the beginning of the ovulation phase. This is when you want to be careful if you are not using protection with your partner, because pre-cum can hold live sperm, and sperm can live for 3 to 5 days in the body. So you want to take a break for about 6 to 5 days from having intercourse with your partner in that way, at least no ejaculation in the body, to avoid pregnancy. That's it. Have fun. Explore different sexual playtime endeavors. Do what you will. But if you are not looking to have a baby, pay attention to your cycle. Take responsibility of your life. Take responsibility and respond to your body. Respond to what is going on. It is a fair life. So to be fair, we are blessed with these organs, with these bodies, with these hormones, with this way of being. Let's tend to it with attention, with detail, with honor, with reverence for what is going on. It is a magical portal. Like, we can birth a human child baby. If we are not tracking it, we're doing ourselves and the world a disservice. There's no accidents ever. So, whatever happens, happens. There's lessons learned, and I'm happy to talk to anyone more in depth about their experiences. I have my own. I hold no judgment for anyone's paths, but it is a lot less stressful overall when you do follow your cycle, track it. You and your partner are on the same team and are helping not have a child together. If you're not wanting one, if you want one, have at it. Have a blast. It is more difficult to get pregnant than people think, but anything can happen. So the body might feel warmer by 0.5 degrees in the body, and you'll be a social bug. Perfect for making babies, like I said. High estrogen levels have dropped, and the progesterone hasn't kicked in yet. So you basically are just fabulous, flying, flowing. Leafy greens are still great. Veggies, rice, cold water, fish, optimal foods. A mix of raw and cooked foods. For ovulation phase, like if you have stiffness in your abdominal, you may want to try hypno openers and yoga to help you open up and relax. But it feels generally good to be back into the world. And a little bit of a different flow here. Heightened energy, confidence, fertility. Your metabolism is doing its thing. So antioxidant-rich foods, anti-inflammatory foods are going to be best for cellular function and recovery for when you go back down the rabbit hole in the luteal phase. You really want to be eating zinc-rich foods, antioxidant-rich foods, protein sources. These are going to make your luteal phase a piece of cake. So after the fun has been had, we go into fall, and this is the luteal phase. So the body wants to slow down. Let it. Oh, someone from the community spoke to me about how their first day of the luteal phase is the absolute worst day. And if any person she comes into contact with that day, there's always a fight, a disruption, conflict, a communication issue, something comes up. So my suggestion, if you have a day like this in your cycle where you cannot people, you cannot handle the outside world, maybe one or two people like your partner or your best friend or a roommate, lock yourself away or go out in nature and go give yourself the time and the space away from the world, because you obviously do not want to interact. So why would you put yourself into the situation you don't want to be in? That's a silly, silly concept. So remember that your bleed is coming up now that you're in your luteal phase. It's time to eat more proteins, fats, and warming foods to help the body prepare for menstruation. The womb typically does need to stay warmer at a internal temperature, and your uterine wall is thickening. So you're growing that uterine lining again if a baby has not been fertilized or an egg has not been fertilized. It's time to schedule your rest days. So your menstruation cycle's coming up. Since you know it, you can mentally prepare your life to be easier. And that's it. You can make your life easier during those days. Maybe you work at a job where you're able to talk to someone and be like, hey, I am going to do this month's worth like this. And you show them a schedule of when you're going to get all of your stuff done, and you're going to take it easier during your menstruation week, because that's a great week to do very monotonous tasks. Say that you got to do taxes on your period, a great thing to do. If you have to do more like bookkeeping stuff or organize something, monotony is your best friend. You do not want to be creative and you're not really full of ideas. Like you're getting closer to the veil of the connection with the divine and your ancestors. It's not really a time to be pushing things out. It's about a time of going in. So you can follow the rest of those little benefits there. What's happening? Progesterone rises, support potential pregnancy, because it's still like, ooh, what's going on in the body? What's going on in the body? Again, here's more foods to eat, B vitamins, progesterone supporting foods, hydration, self-care, reducing your stress, adequate sleep. It's very basic. It's very simple. It is a very routine thing. Like you're going to keep hearing, eat good food, drink high quality water, go to bed early, move your body in ways that are fun for you. Those are the things. Those are the basics that if you do those things, you're going to genuinely have a good life. You're going to be happy. You're going to be easeful, restful. So if you weren't if the other slides weren't great for you, hopefully this one helps more. So seeing that your bleeding starts over here in this quadrant, winter, a few little tips over here on the side, bleeding ends, the egg is made, ovulation happens, ovulation still happening, perhaps like somewhere in that area. And then the body lowers in progesterone if egg isn't fertilized. It's going to rise if it is. Day 26 to 33, uterine lining detaches, menstruation starts, and then boom, you're back to day 1 again. So it's a very, very secular event that we have. And then these are signs of irregular menstruation. It is not normal to have these symptoms. It is not normal to miss a period. It is not normal to have painful breasts. It is not normal to have intense cramps, skip periods, heavy bleeding, blood between periods, abnormal or short, long periods. These are signs that something you did during the month before did not work well for you. And the only way that you are going to know what did not work out for you is if you track it. Yes, if you take the time, 5 minutes, not even, to track how you feel. What did you briefly eat? What happened in your body? What are you feeling? What is your vaginal mucus looking like? What is going on with your cramps? Like, what was your bleed like? Did you have 2 to 3 heavy days that are typically normal and 2 to 1 days on each end to, simmer in and out of that? So it is not normal to have irregular periods and the symptoms. And that is a big thing of stress, denying yourself boundaries, overworking, not getting enough sleep. Those are big killers for us ladies. So holistic birth control. There's the natural fertility awareness method. There's a giant book about this thick about it that you can read, dive into, or you can Google it. You can look at YouTube for some more videos to prevent pregnancy and support conception. So you can use it for both. So fertility awareness method, FAMS. One thing that I do is I check my basal body temperature with a certain thermostat, just like one that you would use in a child or in ourselves. And you just use it right when you wake up, first thing. You don't want to do any activities before it. And then you track the temperature of your body that way, because once you hit a certain temperature, that's peak ovulation time versus not. And then cervical mucus method, observing changes in vaginal discharge to determine fertility. Calendar method, estimating fertile windows based on your cycle length. And the homework, like I said before, would be starting to journal and log your menstrual cycle in an easy way. Other herbal and nutritional supports for birth control could be vitex root, chasteberry, supports progesterone balance. Maca root helps regulate hormones naturally, and magnesium and B vitamins, essential for menstrual regularity. Now, it's time to go explore. It's time to go put all this knowledge into use. Take what resonated, leave what didn't, but all of this coincides together to help you live a more authentic, healthier life as a strong woman, as a you that can move in the world with confidence, with high energy, with intuition as your guide, with flow in your life, with balance. We aren't here to be on all the time. It is a pleasure, it is an honor to be off, to be off and to be resting and to be nourishing the body. So go share some of this with someone you love. Begin to learn, understand, and embrace your body. It's the greatest gift we've ever been given in this lifetime. It allows us to do so many things. Think about how grateful you get to be for this vessel, however it is, and that we can only start from where we are. Everything in the past, honestly, it matters and it doesn't, because if we keep living our life based off of the past, we're never going to move forward. We're going to have a really hard time making change because we're trying to make our life still fit this old narrative when it doesn't even exist anymore. The only one keeping it alive is us, is you, is I. So if you have any questions, please direct me directly in the school if you are a part of the community. If you are not, email me at isabelle@isabellewellman.com, and I am excited to continue this journey with you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great rest of your day.